Hello, it's Anthony Chadwick here from the Webinar Vet. Just finally getting to the end of these questions from Royal Canin from the feline series. We did talk about fleas earlier on in the week, and now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the questions you had on atopy and food allergy. One question was asked about a cat that excessively overgrooms. Is this a behavioural problem? I think I discussed in the webinar that certainly there can be a behavioural element, but most likely this will be a dermatological problem. In fact, I think it's Keith O'Day up in Edinburgh presented a series at a BVDSG meeting, and he said as we learn more and more about cats, that diagnosis of feline psychogenic alopecia gets smaller and smaller numbers being put into it. So yeah, I'm sure that the sort of nervousness of the cat can be a part of that, but I would always go back and say that this is a case with allergy. People asking about the use of atopica for felines. It is coming out in the new year. I'm hoping that we'll be able to provide you with some more information on that. Can certainly be used in eosinophilic granulomas because that's usually just a symptom of a potential atopy or food allergic case. They were commenting about using it topically. I suppose you would be more likely to use something like Protopic in those cases, although I have no experience of doing that with cats. I tend to use steroids and have had very, very few side effects. I always used to say steroids are much more resistant to there being a side effect problem in cats than there are in dogs. But we do see cats that have become diabetic through steroid use, so you have to be careful with them. There was also a question asked about serology for food allergy in cats. I don't think that works. And also a question was asked about what to do in a cat in a multi-cat household. And I would always say, feed the hypoallergenic diet to the whole household. If a cat goes outside, of course, there's a risk that it could be getting something outside, so talk to neighbours and try and limit that risk as much as possible. So that's a few thoughts on atopy and food allergy. Let me just look at my computer to see if there's anything else that we should talk about. A lot of people ask about head and neck problems. This is certainly an area that cats do seem to itch quite extensively, and I would usually put down to perhaps a malassezia problem or an atopy problem. Often it can be very difficult just with trying to get rid of dust in the house or whatever to get rid of the problem. You usually end up needing to use cyclosporin or prednisolone. So my advice would be always to try and use every other day steroids after a short daily course, and if that will keep things under control, then that is a cheap and easy way of doing things. Obviously less experience with cyclosporin because it's not been licensed for use in cats. When I talked to Pascal Prilot in France, who uses a lot of cyclosporin, he seems to have less of a worry of using it in those sort of cases where perhaps you've got a negative toxoplasma titer, and so that seems to be the one that is the main problem. I think if it's a young cat and it's negative, you need to keep it indoors. If it's an older cat and it's still negative, then the likelihood is it probably won't go positive. But again, you need to give some advice on that. So hope that helps. That's the end of the questions for the feline series. But do look out. I'm sure we'll be doing more dermatology in the new year. And in fact, I am beginning to put together a program, a mentoring program for people who want to get more interested in dermatology in 2012. So if any of the stuff that you've seen on the blog has interested you, you're thinking that you might want to put yourself forward for the dermatology mentoring program in 2012, send me a CV, send me a bit of an idea of why we should consider you, and then we can take it forward from there. Thanks very much. Take care, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye bye.